And this is something that I struggle with a lot in my life. I always have the need to externalize my emotions and my thoughts very quickly. And I've always approached, all my relationships with people, whether that be friendship or romantic, like absolute honesty. That's the way. Like, I have to tell you what I feel right now, immediately, so you know how I feel. And I have found that quite often this is actually counterproductive, as you tend to just blurt out your original emotion, and often you kind of you just throw your bad emotions and your conflict and your frustration on the people, so you're rid of it, so you can like, okay, it's out, I feel lighter. But then the other person has to walk around with it, and words have a lot of power, words have a lot of impact. So you can say something under the guise of, I'm just being honest, I'm just expressing myself. But um, I think in a lot of ways that is quite selfish behavior. So I would also think that in those cases, we should always try to really think before we talk too much.
And there's a total difference between you being vulnerable because you want to heal, because you are feeling and sharing, and it's like, and then I want to heal this space, this wound I have inside of me that probably was touched by this experience, but this person, but this situation, and then I want to go and I want to explore it and I want to share it with you so that I can also heal it. It's like I'm going to that room inside of me and I'm bringing light in so that I can clean it, that space. That's something different than I'm being vulnerable. So I'm just like sharing what I have inside of me with you, and it doesn't matter if it hurts you because that's the way I am. That's from a place of you trying to protect your own ego. And that's the thing with the ego. Many times we hear about the ego being like this bad guy, that it's like in a scary movie and that you have to kick out of the house. But the ego is always our inner child being super scared, just like trying to protect himself or herself. And that's how we should talk to it. The moment where we feel our ego coming out, we shouldn't talk to it in any way we wouldn't talk to a little kid. Like, hey, what are you feeling? What are you afraid of? What do you wanna what do you wanna express? What are you, and most of the time it's like shame, guilt, feeling that, like that feeling of like you are being afraid of being left alone. When you express those things, the root to somebody else, that's real vulnerability. And that's where you can heal. The moment where you express, like, no, I'm just not gonna do this because you're still hiding the real reason and the real fear behind those emotions that are coming and like affecting the other person.
That's very interesting. I'm not sure if you've read the Power of Now. I can imagine you have. I'm not sure, but they
Yeah,
talk.
it's ago.
Yeah, they talk about that. They talk about this concept called watching the thinker, where it's this thing where we always identify the voice in our head and our thoughts with us. We call it our instinct, we call it our core, our intuition. But many times, the voice that we hear in our head, as described in the book, is kind of like this third-party entity called the thinker. And the book talks about learning to distance yourself from that voice and looking at it like, why are you saying that? Why are you trying to lead me down that path? And it sounds very similar to what you're talking about right now, in terms of the ego being like your little child on the inside. So would that be like the same concept, more or less, you think?
Yeah, it's just detaching, it's just finding the place where it comes from. Everything around us is just keys to things that we already have inside of ourselves. So it's like, what is it? What is this space within myself that this thing, this person, this situation, this job, it's opening? It's like it is inside of me, but it is not who I am. Again, it can only be the thinker because it's part of those things that you have like get and that you have taken as yours in your life, but the person that you really are, the essence, is going back to that one that just came to earth, knows nothing about him or herself, doesn't even know that it's a she or a he, doesn't even know that it has a name. It just knows love or fear. You know, it feels love for his or her mom. It feels fear or that when feeling like it's left alone. It's just like the emotions that can go from fear to love, and that it's always just in that scale. Everything that you're feeling, there's either love or fear behind that, behind both. And the funny thing that I have learned and seen is that it's only love, because you can only be afraid because you want to protect something that you love. If there's something, like, you wouldn't protect something that you don't really feel love for it. So there's just love, and it takes as many forms as possible.
So, Elizabeth, I can imagine there's going to be quite a few people watching and listening to this and probably agreeing with you and thinking, that's very interesting and it sounds great. But very practically, like, how do people do that? How do people go back, to this essence, to this beginning where they just feel fear and love? And like, in a very literal sense, like, what can people do starting today in terms of getting to that stage, or at least taking steps in that direction?
Yeah, I would say that first you need to start by writing down, who are you? How would you describe yourself? And that's going to tell you a story of a program that has been running your entire life. You were asking me earlier about how do I manage all the things that other people think about me. And that's going to be very hard if I think I'm the one who's making everyone else proud. I'm the favorite kid. Because my story is not I'm the one who makes myself happy. My story is the one that is gonna win it all for the whole family. My story is the one that everyone is proud of. So when I start like writing down and finding out who is it that I am, I'm going to find very expansive beliefs that have probably brought you to the place where you are, and you're gonna start finding also there are a ton of limiting beliefs that are keeping you from where you wanna go. But to find that essence is connecting with your heart. I recommend meditation for this a lot. Just go in silence. There's a beautiful meditation that allows you to breathe and to start feeling your body and recognizing that you're not your body. Start feeling your emotions and recognize you're not those emotions. Start feeling the thoughts that come and recognize you're not those thoughts. You're those thoughts. And once you know what is it that your heart really wants, what is it if today was your last day on earth and you could do this one thing and you could spend this time with these people, what would it be? And once you find that, you're going to write down and see in those limiting beliefs what are the ones that are keeping you from being in that space. Because it's the ones that are keeping you, the things that you have bought into, that are taking you and holding you from reaching that true essence that comes through your heart. And that is one thing that you describe as the thing that you will do in the last day on this earth. It's something that you are going to be able to recognize that it's coherent between your thoughts, your heart, and your soul. You're just going to feel it. And it's your truth. So understanding that, and just the question, what if? What if? And it's like, if so what? Like, for example, I am the one that makes everyone proud. What if I don't? What's the worst thing that can happen if somebody's not proud of me? And you're going to find that you're going to still be you. I am the one who, I am going to launch this huge project that is going to sell millions of dollars. What if you're not? Because many times that's exactly that thing. Like, I'm a winner, so I'm going to launch this program. And then you're keeping yourself from doing it because you're afraid you're not going to be as good as your identity tells you that you are. The moment when you know that if you don't reach that defines you, you are still being, then you can go and you can do it. And then you can have a chance of 50%, maybe it goes the way that you think, and 50% maybe it doesn't. Most of the times we don't even take the chance. So it's 100% failure, but because you're afraid that's not gonna match the identity that you have
Right.
created for yourself. So when is it
Absolutely.
playing in our favor, or when is it playing against us to keep us just trapped in that comfort zone and no grow a lot at all?
Definitely. And it's so recognizable what you're talking about, the fear of your own success. And when things like, we all have these dreams and we all have these ambitions, but then sometimes there's this weird thing that happens when we start getting closer to it, and then we're like, oh fuck, now actually I'm gonna have to do this, or I'm gonna have to live up to that expectation.
Hi, my name's Spencer. I'm a filmmaker from Chicago. I'm a person who struggled with anxiety, OCD, and mild depression for most of my life. I've seen many therapists and tried many different medications. Recently, I was kind of looking for something more, to get more motivated, to get more things done, and I had just come across Lorenzo's YouTube channel. I just started binge watching, and I became so inspired about his attitude, the way he goes about things, and he just seems so genuine, so intelligent, and I just decided to reach out because I thought if he could make it through everything that he had made it through and be succeeding so well now, that he must know something. And I can safely say he does. He's so much different than any other therapist I had seen before. I felt like more of a connection. I felt that everything that he was talking about with me was from experience that he had, and not just something that he learned in a book. And I think that's the biggest difference that I could honestly say. So he's helped me so much with motivation, organizing my life, more confidence, and the biggest thing is to live in the moment. And I really appreciate what I have and who I'm with and what I'm doing when I'm doing it. And that was something I've never done before. So once again, I would like to highly recommend Lorenz, aka Wounded Viking. Please hit him up for life coaching.